Okay, my focus, I try and spend most of my waking time building the Futur. The Futur is an online content and education platform. I guess most people would find us through YouTube. We have over 500 videos on YouTube. And our mission is really simple. There's two parts to the mission. The mission is to essentially impact the lives of 1 billion people on planet Earth for the better. How we do that is through education. We are big believers in the idea that education fundamentally can be the great equalizer. It can lift all people up, and it shouldn't be the privilege of the few who can afford the very best in education. It should be a right for all human beings on planet Earth, regardless of race, religion, color, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or anything like that. I'm a first-generation immigrant refugee, but I can't say like I know what the condition is in Vietnam. I do know a few things, that there are smart, educated, entrepreneurial, strong-willed people, and I meet them on this side of the pond, if you will, and I see that there's a lot of talent, a lot of drive, and I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to compete on the global stage, but you have to kind of think beyond where you come from. Where you come from, where you live, says a lot about your beliefs, your ideas, your values, your opinions, your hobbies, your activities, your interests, but it's not your entire story. It doesn't have to be. Like, my story wasn't written and closed as a refugee coming to America. That was just the opening, the prologue, if you will. And then everywhere that I've gone, I've tried to add and expand on my story and to defy the labels that people want to put upon me. Now, this is hard for a lot of people to understand. I'm going to speak a little bit from the heart here and just tell a slightly more personal story. Being a refugee in America, in that time that we were in America, was not an easy thing. And even moving to California, it's not the diverse, welcoming place that it is today. Back then, I always stood out. I always felt like I was an outsider, never belonging, but I didn't let those labels define who I am. There's something that we say in the Futur, and I believe it to be very true. And that is, you are not defined by the past. The future is what you make it. So a lot of us spend too much time looking into the rearview mirror behind us and not looking at what life we can make for us. So if you want to compete on the global stage, which I encourage everybody to, because that's where the highest competition and consequently the biggest jobs, the biggest brands compete for your attention as well, is you have to be able to speak English, you have to be able to communicate like a native speaker, you have to look, walk, and talk like they do to integrate into the world, because a lot of people hold prejudice against people from other places. So if you're not from America, Australia, or from the UK, they're going to hold that against you. They're automatically going to assume you're less than, so we should pay you 1/5 because the cost of living in Vietnam is much lower. Although that is true, if the work and the way you conduct yourself in a business sense is like the people you want to work with, it should not make a difference. Do not let it be a difference, and don't let it hold you back.